Hi, I'm Linda.
And I'm Cole, and welcome to the Linda and Cole Movie Night. And tonight we're covering the 2017 documentary Fishpeople by the director Keith Malloy. The story of people who have dedicated their lives to the sea, from surfers and spearfishers to a long-distance swimmer, a former coal miner, and a group of at-risk kids in San Francisco.
All right, we'll start with the first one. Within 3 minutes of the first person was Kimmy. I really enjoyed her relationship she had with her father, and she did a lot of spear fishing, right?
Right.
That was really awesome. You can see how beautiful it was.
Yeah, we're going to show a clip from that right now with Kimmy, and she's actually swimming in the ocean. One thing I wanted to kind of do a shout out to is the director of photography, Scott Sowens. A lot of the actual cinematography is done on water level, so they're in the water while they're filming, and sometimes even underwater. And of course, there's time lapse and slow motion. Sea animals or sea creatures, fish people, as they say in the film, are actually filmed in, underwater in action. So we're going to show some of that right now, and then we'll get back to the movie review.
She's miles ahead of where I ever dreamed of being. I mean, you hear people say, oh, you taught her how to dive. I couldn't teach her how to do what she does. That's just nuts. All I take credit for is I got her comfortable in the water. And that's really it.
When you're underwater, there's no street signs, there's no way telling you which way to turn or which way to go.
Kimmy's adventure is actually quite interesting to watch as a spearfisher, and we follow that quite a bit within the film. And the second part of the film, or I wouldn't say the second part, but the second subject of the film is better to say, is, I believe his name is pronounced Matihai, which is a Tahitian, and it shows how he goes out in the water, and his grandfather and his father had shown him how to respect nature as he's swimming along in the ocean. And then who was third?
Oh, the third one is really interesting too. Her name is Lynn Cox.
Lynn.
Sorry.
Yeah, the third one is Lynn.
Sorry, Lynn Cox. And then Peter Jennings had talked about her too in 1987.
The newscaster, Peter Jennings, from the 1980s, real popular.
1980s, and she swam from Alaska to Soviet Union.
Yeah, to Russia, crossing the Bering Strait.
2 hours crossing the Bering
swimming.
Strait.
She swam it. Yeah.
Yeah,
in 2 hours.
In 2 hours.
And that was the third subject.
Correct.
And the fourth subject?
The fourth one is Ray Collins.
Ray Collins. Ray Collins. What did he do?
Is he a singer?
No. That's Phil Collins. Ray Collins was also, I want to say, probably most likely a surfer. Many of them are surfers.
Oh, no, Ray Collins. Oh, he's from Australia.
Right. He was a surfer, too.
Yeah, no, he quit his mining job, his coal mining job, to start filming the ocean. And he spent thousands of dollars on the camera.
Photography. Yeah,
right, but he said the name of the camera, but
it was still photography camera.
Yeah.
And it follows him as well. And some of the still photography is actually brilliant. We're going to show another clip here. I think it might be of possibly Ray Collins. I think it is Ray Collins. So we're going to show that clip again in this 2017 documentary known as Fishpeople. And then we'll be right back with you.
The journey of photography for me started as a surf photographer.
What really sets him apart for me is that he went and shot the same places at the same time as loads of different other photographers, even myself included, and would come away with something different. As a photographer, you notice that when someone's got that eye and they see something that you didn't see. Whenever you put a surfer in frame, in a surfing picture, you have a literal portrayal of what's happening there. Take the surfer out and you're going to lose the reference point. Rather than having a factual representation, you kind of have a fictional one. You come to it, you bring things to it. And that's what I find in Ray's work. He leaves a lot of space there for people to bring things to his work.
The shot is the last thing in a chain of events. It comes from looking at weather maps, wind, tide, where the sun is going to line up. Sometimes I'll plan a single shot for 6 weeks.
Right. So Ray Collins' photography is actually amazing. And, he even talked about how he planned a whole 6 weeks just for one shot. Great still photography that's shown by this Keith Malloy film, who actually is a surfer. So it's a very surfer film. I wouldn't say it's the ideal surfer film, so there's not like a lot of surfer music, but it does have ambient style music or mood music throughout the entire film. One thing that's cool about this particular film, it's only 48 minutes and 59 seconds. You can actually watch it on YouTube. So you can view it on YouTube without any ads, which I thought was cool, right? Not a single ad played for free right now. If you're happening to see our review, you can watch it don't even have to worry about the ads at all. You don't have to pay anything or anything. It's just shown right there on YouTube, no cost. And you were going to say something about the kids.
Oh, okay. So the fifth, I don't know if you want to say story or person or...
Subject. The fifth subject.
No,
subject. It's a subject. A documentary, you have a subject.
Subject. Okay, the fifth subject
which is a person.
Eddie. It's a person from San Francisco, California. And pretty much that story about him surfing was... He was about 12 years old. And then he was from adopted family. So... He's kind of at risk because he has to serve to escape harsh life.
They live in poverty. So I guess the person that's watching over them.
I kind of
guess he's kind of like an adopted parent. Takes them out surfing so they can escape the harsh realities of
correct.
I
escape life
of the poverty-stricken life.
Right. I escaped life for a moment to get some chips from the kitchen, so I didn't see this story all the way. So that's why I'm a little giggling. I'm sorry.
Everybody has their way of escaping.
Right. All right, so you want to go into number 6 with Dave?
Sixth subject in this particular documentary.
We have another Australian from Byron Bay.
Oh, right. And his name is... Dave Rastovich. Some of these names are tough.
And he's a champion surfer.
Right, a champion surfer, and that's from Byron Bay, Australia. And it shows him surfing, going through these great maneuvers,
They show the surfboards a lot. You got short, fat, skinny.
Right.
Boogie boards.
Body boards. Different types of surfboards in that segment. So it's kind of a heavy surf moment, I would say, in the actual film. Like I said, it does focus on surfing. And
it does focus on surfing.
Right. And Keith Malloy is a surfer.
Yes.
And a director of film. You could even probably say this is pretty much cinema. I mean, this could probably have been shown at Cannes Film Festival.
Remember, it is a Sundance film.
Yeah, so thank you for saying that. So it was actually in Sundance. I don't know if it made it to Cannes, but it could be shown there. But it's that level of film, I think. But it was shown at Sundance. And also, it got 80%, a good view on Rotten Tomatoes. So audience reward. It was not it was not covered, or it was not rated on the tomato.
That's how you
tomato
say it.
meter. The
Tomato
tomato meter,
meter.
right? It's tomato meter. Sorry, I misspoke, but the tomato meter, right?
Now I want to go surfing.
Yeah, surfing would be good. Is there another subject in it?
No,
After
we just
that?
had those 6 subjects.
There was mostly 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, 6. I really like the Lynn one from 1987. I kind of want to go back and look up the Peter Jennings, the news reporter.
Ultimately, as for a documentary, I'm giving it 3.5 stars out of 5. I think it's for just of turning on YouTube and watching a 48-minute documentary without any ads at all. You know,
I give it a 4.
Oh, she's giving it a 4.
I give it a 4. Because within 3 minutes, like, I was kind of like teary-eyed. Because of the story about Kimmy with her father, but I didn't realize that there was going to be 6 different stories. So we kind of just picked something and jumped into it. Just like some people jump into the ocean or the sea. We kind of jumped into it.
I thought at times it seemed a little kind of, I would say maybe a little like a surf commercial. There was a lot of ambience music. I don't think it focused on the subjects or the people as much as it could have. It was visually arresting. Let me put it this way. Photography-wise or cinematography-wise, definitely worth it. But actually covering the in-depth kind of psychological aspects, especially maybe it kind of skipped over the at-risk kids in San Francisco. I feel like it just kind of zipped through that a little too quick. But I think ultimately it's a good film. But 3.5 stars is what I'm sticking with. And she's going with 4 out of 5, right?
I would say 4 out of 5. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
They never really showed the sand. Somebody stepping in the sand. That'd been cool to see somebody's foot in the sand. Because so we got Australia.
They didn't show the sand very
And then we
much.
have San Francisco, and then we have Tahiti, which, by the way, is about 3,000 miles from Hawaii.
Right.
I had no idea where
In the
Tahiti
South
was.
Pacific, yeah.
South Pacific. That was.
They did show a lot.
That was the second one.
Yeah, they showed a lot of underwater and swimming.
Yeah, that was really good right there.
And then they showed a little inner city with the kids, but mostly it focuses in the water, just like a surf film. It felt to me like it was just a kind of a surf film with kind of talking about people, maybe their connections with the sea and the water, especially the ocean. Mostly surrounding the ocean.
Right. Because they love the ocean, so they appreciate life.
Right, they appreciate the life in the ocean and their connection with the ocean.
And their connection.
That
sea turtle was really big with the
there was
first
a sea turtle.
subject.
There was a sea turtle. They do show marine life, so marine life is shown as well. All right, well, thanks so much for watching Movie Night with Linda and Cole. And this is our first movie review that we're doing. Originally, we were going to check out a movie from Redbox and then do a movie review on that. But we decided, well, let's kind of hunt around YouTube and see what we can find that doesn't cost anything. And right now, what's showing is Fishpeople.
Fishpeople.
Yeah, director Keith Malloy.
Fishpeople.
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 Kind of like this, like, you know.
As a kid, we had a lot of fishes.
Yeah, the fish.
The kisser fish.
Anyway, all right. Well, y'all have a good night.
Have a good night. So my dad was in between Louisiana and Allen, Texas. So I think I saw my dad for maybe 5 years. But he had a boat. No, he lived off a boat.
Oh, your dad lived on a boat?
Yeah, he lived on his boat because he was in between houses. And then he had my grandma's house.
Was it on the ocean or just a lake?